I can't imagine driving this car in 2008 when it came out. I bet this melted people's faces off. Today, I have something very special. This is a 2008 Telsa Roadster. Going to get a new set of tires. And we're off. So immediately, the first thing you notice about this car is that it has no power steering. So if you are not moving, the steering is heavy. But the car itself is relatively light. So as soon as you're rolling, it goes away. This car came before the Model S. So all of the systems work, but it's much less refined. You know, this was a sports car, not $100,000 luxury touring car. It probably was still $100 grand, but it was not a grand touring car. Holy shit, huge rock. Feels so small on the road. I feel like I have so much line choice. I left with, I think, 145 miles of range or something like that. That was 50% battery. So we will see how much I have when I get home. I think this is about, it's going to be like 70 miles of driving today. The pedal box is so small that both of my feet, both of my shoes almost don't fit. This is really where this car is best. This is like 5 or 6 tenths. I'm going like 35 miles an hour, but you just don't have to slow down for the turns. And it feels so good. In addition to that no power steering, the whole car creaks. The suspension gives you feedback. Because there's no power steering, and it's certainly not electric steering, I can feel exactly what the front tires are doing underneath my fingertips. And it's so rewarding. I was told it might also need shocks, which in 18 years I would believe. Definitely stiff. Not a lot of body roll. Handle's almost flat. And there's always gravel right around these turns, so there's never quite as much traction as you think. It's a good rule of thumb for the canyons anyway. As with all electrics, anything between, you know, that 0 to 60 range, that in-town range just hits so hard. I think this car only has like 270 horsepower. Like I said, it was the first car Tesla made. Oh, Porsche man's moving now. That escalated quickly. I'll just let him go. Not even going to try to catch up with the Boxster or keep up with the Boxster. No power steering is hard work. You gotta manhandle it. Especially with all these decreasing radius turns, you have to make so many steering input changes throughout the turn. You really feel them. I know you guys have been seeing, you know, some SUVs, some trucks, some Grand Tourers on the channel. This is what I like. Little car, big motor, give it the boot, and rip it around a turn. You guys can probably see I haven't stopped smiling since I got in here. Just having a good time with the boys. Like I said, I'm going 30 miles an hour, but this road is super tight. You still have to use the brakes. And that's just enough for a good time, you know? That's all you need. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not as fast, the 0 to 60 as, you know, the Rivian or the Lucid. I would put this in the mid 4-second range. But, like, here's 40, 35, you hit it, and it still has that electric vehicle punch. I'm not gonna lie, I'm sweating a little bit. You gotta work for this steering. The cop was just getting after it and giving me a weird look. I saw your knee down, buddy. There is a lot of wind noise. It's not quiet in here. I feel like I have to raise my voice. I might put the lavs on later for the drive home. I can't imagine driving this car in 2008 when it came out. I bet this melted people's faces off. These front tires are only 175 width. I'm not gonna say it uses all of your senses. It's not like I'm feeling the vibration of the engine to know when to shift at a certain point without looking at it. But it involves all of your senses. Like the wind noise adds to the experience. The lack of power steering adds to the experience. I'm sweating a little bit. I will say, visibility out of the car, pretty good. Visibility out the mirror is terrible. We got like an SF90 pulling up next to me. Hey brother, what's poppin'? It's loud on the highway. Bunch of wind noise. The roof does not seal well. Sports cars, baby. I don't care one bit. After 70, it has no balls anymore. It's at about 8,000 RPM. It goes up to 13,000. One gear. I will say the brakes work, but they feel very wooden and they do not inspire confidence, which is too bad in a sports car. All right, we'll give this the old how about now. Right there. One day I'll grow up and 0 to 60s won't be fun, but today is not that day. So fun facts about this specific Tesla. This belongs to my boss, known him a long time. Before I worked for him, now I manage his vehicles, of course, taking this to go get a set of tires. Before I worked for him, I owned an automotive and social media marketing agency. I had like 5 clients, like lift kits, some lithium batteries, some sound systems for UTVs, things like that. But it was before I even owned my motorcycle. With my first year after moving to California, or owned a motorcycle, he let me drive this car to the office to meet my clients, and that is the last time I have ever worked in an office. Everything else has been working from home. Of course, I'm an actor, so there's not even a lot of working from home, but I thought it was hilarious that the last time I drove this car was the last time I had what is commonly referred to as a real job. I've always been self-employed, so I don't know how much I agree with that statement. But I have certainly not been in an office since I drove this car. Actually, it was probably 10 years ago. Wow, excuse me, I just had a moment. Elon really knew what he was doing when he released a sports car first. That was a power move. If anybody out there is going to buy a new Roadster and wants to let me demo that, for the channel, please let me know. The suspension squeaks and stuff. Oh! That's why we do yoga. To fit in sports cars. There it is. They were still working it out in 2008.
I said, they happened to us once.
It did?
Yes. And we kind of just pushed it down. We didn't want to mess with anything.
Yeah, it probably just wasn't shut all the way.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. You really enjoyed your day.
You as well. And we're off. Got the fresh Yokohamas on there, matching set. Might actually get a highway entrance here, boys. Tires are definitely not scrubbed in yet. The wind noise from the roof is hilarious. Really reminds you that Tesla's actually a new company and building cars is really hard. I'm not really a Tesla guy. I'm not even an electric vehicles guy. But this is my new favorite one. I'm sure like the Rimac is delightful. But I don't know anybody who has one of those, and especially not that's going to let me drive it. So this will have to do for now. No cruise control, no power steering. Suspension squeaks when you pull into a driveway. Roof leaks. I love it. Let's see if I push the traction control button, anything happens. How about now? Endless smiles. Speed and power. There might have to be a Lotus in my future based off of driving this. If this is basically a Lotus that weighs an extra 1,000 pounds, I can't imagine what the real ones must be like. Even this is 1,500 pounds less than most electric cars. You know, if like a, I don't know what a Model 3 weighs, but I would guess about 4,000, like 3,800. This is only 2,700, so it's less than that and still 1,000 pounds more. I bet it's like 700 pounds more than the car it was based on. Simplify, then add lightness. I believe Mr. Colin Chapman said that. This motor at 70 miles an hour is at 8,000 RPM, maybe just under, about 8,000 RPM. It revs to 13,000. I can't imagine it would get there very fast though. It has AP Racing calipers. I really wish they felt better. Photo op, standard dashboard, rev counter, speed. It's got like a little battery indicator there. And then this was the screen before the screen. else is in there? Ideal range. Oh, estimated range. Interesting. Trip gauge. Clock. And then here is the middle. No drive, or no park. Just neutral and a handbrake. There's climate. There's the radio. And that's the Telsa Roadster.